If you or someone you know has diabetes, you may have built up an extra supply of test strips and lancets. That's where we come in. We'll buy the supplies that you don't need and resell them to those in need to prevent waste. Help us make diabetes management more affordable. Visit us at teststripswithaz.com.
We have Manny Muro back on the show. He just picked up a huge win on Saturday at Bellator 232, defeating Nick Newell in Nick's home state of Connecticut. Manny, how are you, man?
I am well, brother. Thank you again. It's good to talk to you, man. And I enjoyed our visit last time, and I appreciate you giving me another chance.
Absolutely. I mean, how can I not after this point? Now, you're celebrating this win in a big way. You're doing the old sports cliche. Tell everybody where you're at right now.
I am at Disney World down here in Orlando with my family. During camp, I spent a lot of time away from them, man, and I felt like I believed that I was gonna win, and I was like, I told my wife and my kids, I said after the fight, I said we're gonna go to Disney World, and I actually paid for it ahead of time. We spoke it into existence, and so yeah, so I got back home on Sunday. And Monday morning at like 5 o'clock, we were flying out to Disney World. So it's been a whirlwind ever since then, brother.
Man, so you have a fight camp. You fight at Bellator 232 against Nick Newell. You fly right back, and then you go to the place where you walk more than any other place on the planet. How the heck do you pull this off, man?
I don't know, but honestly, it's been unreal because I noticed yesterday we went to Animal Kingdom Park and we walked all day. My legs are, I had a Charlie horse from the fight, and my hands and my feet are just like swollen. Like I feel like a pregnant woman. Like I don't know why it's like that, but it's been like that. But man, it's just like, this is for our family. We always do this every year. We really love Disney. I don't know if people ever realized it, but I actually have Mickey and Minnie tattooed on my back. And it's just, we're a Disney family, man. So this just, it makes us happy to come together and to smile to be here.
Well, that is amazing. And, getting back to the fight, congratulations on the win. I know you weren't planning, like you just said, on going in there and losing on Saturday. Although many believed you would go in there and sort of be a stepping stone for Nick on the first fight of his new deal. You played spoiler, and I know you haven't really had a lot of time to digest this because you were going from one thing to the other, then off to Disney. Yeah. How does it all feel 4 days later? Has it sunk in what you've been able to accomplish here?
Man, it's just now starting to, honestly. It really is. Like, after the fight, Mike, like I told you when we spoke to each other last time and the people that I spoke to leading up to it, I genuinely believed in myself, and it wasn't anything that I was downplaying Nick or anything like that. I just felt in my heart that this was set up for me to be successful. And after it happened, I was focusing on remaining humble, not being disrespectful, not being just being a quality opponent, and that was my mindset the whole time. And now that I've stepped away, it's just like, wow, like it happened, it really happened. Like, I'm here, and I have a grateful heart, honestly, man. I'm just a grateful heart, and I feel like this was a good step for me to establish myself in the promotion, a good step for me to establish myself in this new season and chapter in my life to be like, hey, I am here for the rest of you lightweights. I am here. If you think if you want to set me up you think I'm gonna be an easy fighter, if you think that was a fluke, then try me. If you just try me, because whoever Bellator puts up next, I'm gonna prepare the same way. I'm gonna be a professional from top to bottom, and I'm gonna come to just keep chipping away.
When it comes to the odds makers and the naysayers, I've learned through all these interviews that I've done that there's two trains of thought. You can either embrace and relish the underdog role and use it as an additional chip on your shoulder, or you could ignore the noise altogether. And I'm sure you were well aware that Nick was as high as a minus 700 favorite heading into Saturday. What side of the fence were you on? Were you listening to the noise, or were you blocking it all out?
Man, honestly, I really wasn't listening to the noise, but I mean, I'd be a liar if I didn't say it didn't motivate me, when you look at the records and you look at the the streak that I was currently going on, a year ago I lost 3 fights in a row, and they were really bad losses. I mean, some of that was justifiable, but then again, like the people that know me, my training partners, my coaches, everybody from my team in Oklahoma to my team in Albuquerque at Jackson Week, when I told them I had this fight, they believed in me. The people that do know me in the circle of people around me that see me day in and out, they see what I'm capable of, and they knew from the get-go. No one was like, oh, man, that's a tough fight. I think this is kind of bad for you. No, they were like, heck yeah, man. Go in there and get what you're show the world what we see in, day out. And when you have that confidence, that just reiterates, like my self-belief already, and you add that motivation. And like I said, like Nick he's not a bad guy. He really isn't. Like he's a great guy. I've kind of followed him a little bit, and he's got some great things going on. He's got a real heart for his community, and that's great. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm not the type to where I need to hate somebody to fight him. You know what I mean? Like, and I just, when we embraced after the fight, I just looked at him in the eyes and I said, hey man, no hard feelings. I said, I got nothing but respect for you. And I appreciate him because honestly, he brought out the best in me, Mike. He really did. Like he brought out the best in me, and I am forever grateful for him. I send him and his family prayers and love, and wish nothing but the best for his gym and everything that he's doing in this state. Like man, I'm telling you, I'm not sure if you saw, but whenever I got announced as the winner, man, that whole arena booed me like you wouldn't understand. I couldn't even hear myself, Mike. Like I honestly like I was like, wow, these are some savage fans, man. But it respect, they're MMA fans. MMA people are very passionate about what we do in our sport, So, but yeah, man, I let what the odds makers and everybody say. I let it motivate me. It was good motivation.
The first round was a tough round for you. You were locked in the guillotine choke for a little bit, but you were able to stay patient. You were able to get out of it. It was definitely Nick's round. Did you feel like you were in any danger in that choke at all, or did you feel like you were good to go and just sort of needed to ride it out at that point?
No, man. When he actually got it, I've watched the fight maybe once or twice since it happened, and when you get up against the cage, you're told to keep your forehead against their chin, drive it up. It kind of puts them in bad positions. And what I noticed is my head started dropping, and he started getting that sink in. And the way his arms are set up, if he gets that arm wrapped around that left arm, man, it is tight. And that's why I had to drop, because I started feeling, I was like, oh crap. And I'm gonna be honest again, man, like. I started thinking in my head at that moment, I was like, no, it is not going like this. I am not going to get choked out like in the first minute or two of this fight and be on national news and everything that I was just a bum. And I was like, no, Lord, please don't let it go down like this. And, I stayed patient. And my grappling coach, Harry St. Ledger, man, we prepared, to fight that hand very diligently. And, I tried to stay patient through it, and we ended up working our way out. And I was okay with losing that first round. I'd rather go into the next round instead of getting choked out, right? But yeah, man, it was tight. There was a couple submissions that his grappling's top notch. It really is. His grappling's top notch, man. That was a very strong athlete.
The third round was clearly your round. The second round was clearly the deciding factor in the fight. It was a very close round. He took your back early. You were able to end the round on top. As you're in there in that second round, as it comes to an end, when the horn sounded, did you feel confident that you had had that round? What was the conversation like in the corner between the second and third round?
Man, it was the beginning of the second round. He judo tossed me over his hip, and man, I'm telling you, like I got in a bad position, and I was just trying to stay patient through the process. And, I remembered I got on top of him, started landing some elbows to his body. And I went to my corner and I asked him, I said, what do you guys think? And they said, it's 1-1. They told me with a straight face, they said, we think it's 1-1. They said, but listen here, you have to leave it all out there. They said, suck it up, go give everything you got. And show the judges that that you won this fight. And that's all I did, man. I honestly, like, I just dug in, and I just wanted to maintain position, because with Nick, you give him a few inches, and man, he's going to capitalize on it. And I ended up getting to his back, and I was just like, man, I got to hold this position, Mike. And I started noticing that I was having a little success with the body lock and taking him down and stuff. And I was just trying to maintain that position and hopefully get a little ground and pound. I wish I could have got more ground and pound off, but with these high level fights, man, you got to watch making mistakes, because they will capitalize off of them. So that third round, it was kind of, I felt like the first half of the fight was his, but the second half of the fight was mine. From that middle of that second round all the way into the third round. And it's not how you start, it's how you finish, right? Especially in a fight, you give it another round, and I honestly think I would have finished him. And I say that in a humble way, like I really do, because my cardio, Mike, is one of my best assets. Like I might be like a little bit of a slow starter, but man, I can push a hard pace. And did you get to see the fight?
I did.
After Nick went for that submission early on, that first round, I kind of felt like he started fading a little bit. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't as strong in the positions. I started getting takedowns and stuff like that. And he's a world-class athlete. And I genuinely feel like I might not be the most muscular, but my endurance is one of my best assets. So.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you if that was part of the game plan as well. Like, was there something in his tape that you felt like the later the fight would go, more advantage to you because of your cardio? Did you feel like you had the ability to wear him down and sort of pick up the pieces as the fight went on?
No, that's just, honestly, it was one of those things that throughout my whole career, that's I've noticed that with other people. I'm a grinder, you know what I mean? Sometimes my fights aren't going to be the prettiest, that probably wasn't the most entertaining. People want to see people get knocked out. They don't want to see each other, grappling against the cage for 15 minutes. But that's my style, that's always been one of my best assets. And you have to implement it. If I could sit here and push a hard pace, and I know I can keep it, because my forearms were a little burnt out. But other than that, I felt like I could have gone 3 more rounds, genuinely. And so. Man, you try to make the most of your weapon, and my cardio was one of my weapons, and so I just tried to implement it, and I'm glad that I've been blessed with cardio, because it's actually helped me win a lot of fights. I fought 5-round fights 3 times, and man, I'm telling you that'll put a tax on your body right there, brother.
What were those moments like when the scorecards are being read? And we know the aftermath, how the fans reacted in Connecticut, but especially being in Connecticut, Nick being from there. I knew the fight was close, but sometimes, you get a little bit of home cooking. Sometimes each judge, they look at fights differently, and they award points for different things over others. They prioritize other things. What were those moments like for you, just waiting on those scorecards to be read, and then ultimately, what was that like hearing Manny Muro is the winner of this fight? Like, what was that like?
Hey, honestly, brother, man, when I went up there and I knew it was a decision, I'm going to be honest, I thought they were going to hose me. Even before my name, whether it was a split decision or unanimous or whatever, I was like, man, I'm in Connecticut. I was like, when you're in this guy's backyard, you know that you're going to have to definitively beat this dude to win a fight. And I was just like, I kind of embraced it. I accepted it before it even happened. And so they go, 1 Muro, 29-27 Newell. And speaking of that judge that gave 29-27, what were I'm not going to be disrespectful, but I'm just saying, he did not beat me 29-27. And then whenever they said that last one, they said Muro, I was like, oh my gosh, I shocked the world. I shocked the world. I was like, I literally everybody in that arena was just like, boo, you suck, this and that. And man, the feeling, Mike, when they called my name was it was surreal. From the time they called my name until the time I flew out to get to the airport to come back home to Oklahoma was like a dream. Literally was a dream. People coming up to me for autographs, high profile fighters and coaches that I'm huge fans of coming up and congratulating me, getting to speak to the matchmaker and tell me he was impressed. You know, Goldberg came back and took a picture with me, and man, Mike, I'm telling you, like, it's unreal, bro. Like, one fight, like I believed in myself years ago, but the people now are just now getting to see the stuff that I'm capable of. And to be honestly, that was only about 40% of my capabilities. I'm so much better of a fighter than I actually performed that night. And so that's what makes me excited to make a run in Bellator if I'm blessed enough with the contract to get to fight for the promotion.
You just picked up the biggest win of your career, and when we spoke leading into the fight, you opened up quite a bit about falling into a pretty deep depression after losing 3 in a row. You were drinking a little bit. You ended up snapping out of your funk, and you pick up a big win, and then you got this fight with Nick. In hindsight, as dark as that time must have been for you, does it make you appreciate this more? Because chances are, if you hadn't had that 3-fight skid and you were 13-3, you may not have gotten this opportunity. How much more do you appreciate the road you've been on and the bumps along the way?
Oh man, honestly, brother, like I gotta thank the good Lord, because it's because of him. He, you know, his timing in our lives are so much better than what we could ever have for ourselves. And there were so many lessons in humility and being a professional and doing things of this nature that if I didn't lose those fights, I wouldn't have learned the lessons that I did. And I'm so very thankful that he brought me out of that moment. It was a rough time to get through that. It was rough for me. It was rough for my daughters, my family. But, you know, it was a blessing. It's a blessing. You know, like I said, like sometimes we have to go through the storms to realize, to look up and be like, I need you, God. You know, I need your strength. And those were those moments. Like, I've realized I would have never been prepared for this moment, Mike. I could sit here and tell you, like, I would have never been prepared for this moment. Things wouldn't. It's just they worked out the way they did, and I'm very grateful. You know, like, man, I'm telling you, brother. Like, there were so many lessons learned in there, man. It's very emotional for me, honestly, just to talk about it, because I'm humbled by God's grace over my life that He gave me a platform like this, and that He still has good things for me to do, you know. And I think the sky is the limit. I mean, honestly, like, this is like how would you say a refurbishment? This is the next chapter in my life, the next season of my life. You know, that depression was a season in my life that helped mold me to be a better man and a better father and a better role model for these next generation. And I can share my story, you know, and I appreciate you giving me this platform, because there's people that saw our last interview and they were like, man, Manny, I never knew you went through that. And I'm going to be like, you know, I'm not perfect. I never mean to be. I'm human. I went through stuff, you know, just like we all do. You know, there's people battling addictions and depression, and mental illness is a very real thing. And that's kind of where, I don't know, you can probably help me with this, but mental illness and awareness is my calling, my cause, you know, for people out there, you know, because there's so many people that are going through depression and things like this, and just battling day in and day out, and they need to know that there's help out there. There's people that are meant to help you. You know, my God is a loving God that wants nothing but our people, and He doesn't want anybody to struggle, you know, and so, like, that's really close on my heart, and hopefully I can bring awareness to it, you know. If it's through my story, then so be it.
Do you feel, I don't know if you talked to Scott Coker or anybody with Bellator after the win, you know, obviously they signed Newell to an exclusive deal, you beat him, obviously you're hoping for something similar. If that happens for you, do you feel like you have sort of this, you know, this duty upon yourself to use that platform to raise this awareness?
I definitely do. I got to speak with the matchmaker, Mr. Rich Chu. He's a great guy. You know, I didn't get to speak to Mr. Coker personally, but Mr. Chu, you know, had good things to say about my performance, man, and definitely, man, that mental health awareness will definitely be something that even after I'm done fighting, it's going to be something that I'm going to try to bring awareness to. It's going to be something that I'm going to try to help the next generation, because, you know, I want to share what's helped me. And like I said, it's been my faith. My faith is my main thing. And if I can bring people, tell them about the love of God, and I can do these things through my story and help them in their lives and their families, man, it's all worth it, Mike. You know what I mean? All the money and all the accolades and all that stuff, it means nothing compared to genuinely helping these people that are going through struggles in life. You know what I mean? Like as an adult, I mean, you're an adult too, brother. Like, you know, we're all going through things in our lives, and I think as athletes, that's a blessing for us, is that we can help in these moments, you know. And so definitely, I will always carry that banner for me, you know. Share the story of my Native American people, and of course, I'm gonna tell as many people I can about God's love, and that's just who I am, you know. I'm never gonna stop talking about it. So if people don't like me, then you know what I mean. Like I'm just always gonna. These are things that I'm always gonna talk about. This is who I am. I'm not gonna fake the funk, you know. This is who I am, and so you know, hopefully I can help the next generation.
That's amazing, and you know, it makes all the sense in the world to lock you up with Bellator, because Oklahoma's sort of their home away from home in Thackerville. Yeah. So I mean, lots of opportunities to get on those cards. You could be the home team once in a while.
Oh, bro, that would be awesome. And actually, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but you know, you're my dude, so I want to drop it in. But I was talking to my manager, and they were talking about. He just said, "Hey, get your passport ready, Manny." So
what?
Yeah. He said, get your passport ready. He said, so hopefully, you know, Lord willing, man, you know, we're going to continue to try to share my story, and, you know, we're going to knock down these big names, whoever they put in front of me, man. I'm telling you, Mike, I really am. I feel like I'm at a really good place, spiritually, mentally, and physically. And man, I'm encouraged. I'm excited for what the future holds, you know. I really am. I'm excited for what the future holds, because Nick Newell was a world-class martial artist. He's been in there with some of the best. He did some amazing things in the sport, and you know, I was fortunate enough to beat him, and it wasn't even my best performance. So that's encouraging. You know what I mean? Like, it really is. It's encouraging, and so like, we're gonna continue to build, continue to be a professional, and man, it's just. I'm ready to make that run for that lightweight gold. I really am. I'm excited.
So, passport needed. Are we going up north? Are we going to Israel? Where are we going? 2020, 2019? Come on.
That's the thing, is that I don't know for sure. I just looked at it after my manager said that to me. I started looking at what they have. They're going to Israel. They're going to London. They're going to Japan.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Hey. The people would love to see a dragon over in Japan, you know what I mean? They love to see it. I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there, you know what I mean? Like, so, no, nothing's been set in stone, but, you know, during the holidays, I'm just going to continue to train hard, to be a professional, to not cut any corners, and enjoy the holidays with my family, because honestly, man, like, my family, my two girls and my wife, they sacrificed a lot leading up to this point, and they support me 110%, and they're some of my biggest fans. But at the same time, I you know, if I don't devote the same amount of energy and time into my family, and then what is it all for, right? Like, if I have a flourishing career but my home life is crap, then it's you know, it's not right, you know. So I have to devote the same time amount of energy to my family, my loving wife, my beautiful wife, my daughter right here, Mila Beth. She's coming to sit down and watching me interview. So, you know, hopefully these are good lessons that she can see. You know, Daddy worked hard, and, you know, he loved us with all his heart. And, you know, I want to treat my family the same way. So, you know.
Amazing stuff. Can we, in a game of true or false, can we say true or false your next fight's going to be with Bellator?
As long as they say it, yes, true. Please sign me, please. Red Scott, boss man. Like, I'm telling you, man, because I honestly, I loved everything they did, Mike. You've been to the shows before, haven't you?
Yeah, I've covered a bunch of events for them. They're
yeah,
great.
Man, like they are. I'm telling you, brother, like they are world class, you know. And honestly, man, they have the best fighters in the world. You know, they're growing up there with the UFC, and man, I would love to be a signed fighter with them, and I'm just honestly, I'm putting it in the Lord's hands, whatever He has planned for my life. But yeah, man, I would love for the next one to be with them as well.
Yeah, I was kind of bummed I couldn't make it out for this one because I covered the UFC in Boston the week before. I'm actually going to be heading to New York on Friday to cover 244. So family is important. So I'm the same way. So it's trying to find the balance. I can't be gone 3 weekends in a row. I just can't do that. You know, normally I'd be out in New York now, but you know, Halloween's tomorrow and gotta be there for that too.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this much, Mike. If I fight up there again, or even if it's Oklahoma, if you can make your way down, bro, I'll get you some VIP tickets to my next fight, brother. You have my word. I want you there, big dog. You know what I'm saying?
I gotta, wear the badge. I gotta be covering that thing. I'm not. I'm gonna be I'm that guy running around. I'm that guy running back and forth. That's how I like to cover events. I'm just a bad man. But I'll take you up on that. If you end up back in Connecticut, I will be there covering it. You have my word.
Right on.
Incredible win, man. You've just a fantastic story. I appreciate you opening up as much as you do. I appreciate you taking the time while you're on vacation with your family. So big thank you to the wife, to the kids, all that stuff for allowing me to take your time here. Manny Muro defeating Nick Newell on Saturday, Bellator 232. Just congratulations on everything, man. Before we let you go, let the folks know where they can find and follow you on the web, social media, shout outs, anything else you want to get off your chest. The floor is yours.
All right. Thank you, Mike, brother, for another chance to share my story. You guys, you can find me on Instagram at Kiowa Dragon. On Facebook, it's Manny the Dragon Muro. And I want to shout out all my sponsors, especially my manager at TKO Combat Sports, Trigger and Reese. You know, they've been working hard in the lab trying to get everything set up. You know, shout out to all my Native American, my Kiowa people. Love God, love people, guys. You know, that's what it's all about. Share love, man. Thank you, Mike.
Congratulations again, Manny. Enjoy Disney. Try to take a breather when you can. I know you're going to be doing a lot of walking, but I'm very happy for you. We look forward to seeing what is next for you. Hopefully back in the Bellator cage and stamp that passport.
Thank you, brother. Yes, sir.